Darrell Davis, Committee for Justice. I want to first thank members of CPARC who are still here, and Committee for Justice and our attorney, Jeffrey Smith, who is also here. And despite how things played out over the last 3 or more years, the fact of the matter is that everything that Mr. Edler said and Ms. Alpern before him is absolutely true. We have documentation and sworn testimony to prove it. Mayor, you sat up here and said, I have nothing to do with the Housing Authority for 3 years. Excuse me, did you get something in your eye?
No.
And yet, you were making board appointments. People only who supported Phipps. And for some reason, this council thought that you were talking to stupid people. Like we didn't see this game. You know, people who got contracts, you know, or apartments or jobs to come out and support Phipps. You know, so all of this went on, and you sat up here and you caused conflict. And you caused anger and resentment in the broader community towards us, towards our families, because you, Mayor Foster, have been and probably still are pursuing a policy to phase out public housing. It doesn't matter what you deny anymore. We have proof. And so rather than work to uplift the community, you used every means, legal and illegal, to undermine a community who said, we're going to organize and make our community better. Did you help? No. 4 police cars to break up a legal tenant association meeting. By the way, Mr. Phipps said he didn't call the police, so I don't know who that leaves.
Well, I didn't call the police, and you know that.
I know that. There's nothing you do that surprises me.
And you also I have said it many, many times, and it doesn't matter who called the police. I didn't call the police. I wasn't even here when this all happened, and I've been through that. And I have done nothing to dismantle public housing. You can't stand there at a podium and say you have proof that I've done something to dismantle public housing, because I have done nothing to dismantle public housing. It has never been my agenda or the agenda of this council to do away with public housing. So whatever proof you have that I'm trying to do away with public housing, present it to the Corporation Council. We'd like to see it.
Several years ago, when I was on the Housing Authority, your friend...
How many years ago was that?
Your friend, Bill Florence...
How many years ago was that?
Could you stop interrupting me?
How many... When you say
Would you please stop interrupting me? Thank you.
When were you on the Housing Authority Board?
Several years ago, your friend, Bill Florence, approached me about phasing out public housing.
And he was the
Corporation Counsel
Mr. Davis,
at that time.
Mr. Davis,
I refused to go along with the
plan. And Mr. Davis, I was not on this council.
I was removed.
I was not the mayor.
I was removed. You know who took my place?
I have no idea who
your
took
husband.
Your place. So what? And that would have been in the 1980s, 30 years ago.
All right, so
my goodness.
Your husband is against public housing.
He is not. He grew up in public housing.
And you're for public housing? Is that what you're telling me?
My husband grew up in public housing. He grew up in
so
Dumber Heights, and he grew up in Bowman Towers.
Some of your best friends are black, right?
No, but I'm saying he's not against public housing. And that's why I asked, what year were you on the Housing Authority Board?
And so, to continue with my 5 minutes...
And I asked you if you have proof that I have done anything, presented to the Corporation Council.
For 3 years. Undermining the tenant association.
I never undermined the tenant association.
Walking out on tenants who stood here for hours to speak. Police in the council chambers. No clapping rule. You want more?
That has nothing to do with public housing.
Appointments to the house. These were Housing Authority residents.
Having police
asking
officers,
for your help.
Having police officers in the council chambers is here for all meetings, regardless of who is here and who is speaking. They started
when the residents came and asked for your help, and you refused to help. Instead, you continue to appoint housing commissioners that would only support Mr. Phipps, and we beat your plan because we're not stupid.
And that's not true either.
You stepped back and appointed flunkies, and then sat there and tried to say they quit because we were attacking them. We didn't attack any of them. We focused on you because you think you're the smartest one in every room, and we saw through your little third-grade plan. Oh, I have nothing to do with the housing authority. Your deputy mayor sat right next to you. You appointed him, right? You had a city person on it, and you're telling me you had nothing to do with it? So you don't care about the residents of
We
public
have
housing?
said over and over and over again, Mr. Davis, we do not run the operations of the Housing Authority. We appoint the board members. The board members run the operation of the Housing Authority. When people go into the board room at the Housing Authority and intimidate and harass board members, they do quit.
Who did that?
You know,
Who
those
did
are the
that?
claims.
Now present your proof. Who did that? Who
So-
did that, Mayor? Huh?
And so
who did
let's
that?
not start calling people
Well, I
names.
want to know who did that.
Well, I've been told that you have done that,
That
that
I've
other
done
tenants
what?
have done that.
I haven't.
that
I was
have
banned
called
for
and
almost
harassed.
2 years. So when did I do that?
That people have been
Caught in
called
another
and
lie.
harassed. I'm not lying. You have
I was banned.
gone to meetings.
I was banned for
And-
almost 2 years.
But
Mayor,
you have
liar.
gone to meetings.
But
You have
look,
gone to meetings.
We beat your plan. Phipps
There
is
was
out.
no plan.
We beat your plan.
That's fine.
We
There was
know
no
that you are
plan.
working with a consultant right now to phase out public housing.
I am not.
Sure you're not.
That's just an
Okay,
outright
so
lie.
The
It's
queen
an
of
outright
lies is
lie.
going to call somebody a liar? When can I start my yoga program?
You want to know what's going on at the Kylie Center?
No. I want you to go back and admit that you lied when you
I
said
did
there's
not
yoga.
lie.
at the
You
Kylie
asked what
Center.
was going to go on. I
See,
told you
have
what the
lied
staff said.
From
You know,
the time this started, we came to you in French, looking over at the clock. Time's not up because you've been running your mouth.
I didn't look at any clock.
What did you do? You're like a pathological liar. I
Mr.
will.
Davis, you looked in that direction, and
a
I looked to see what you were
pathological
looking at.
liar. You have hostility towards people of color and public housing. That's why you took the bus ride away from the kids. That's why you charge $10 to kids to use the Kylie Center.
Okay.
You are a racist lowlife. Thank you.
Okay. And the fee for the Kylie Center, the fee for if you're registering with Parks and Recs programs is $10.
That's 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and he's still yelling from the crowd. So he's
For every 3 months. There is a couple of $1,000 set aside in account for people for not-for-profit youth organizations to apply to for buses. It's open to all youth groups to apply for bus rides to where they need it. Those rules were published and given to you 2 years ago. The money is there. You actually made fun of the rules. And so the activities at the Kylie Center that will be printed in the Parks and Recs brochure this summer is the basketball summer league program on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Friday from 4 to 9. Board games.
So Davis keeps yelling out, and this is 8 minutes and 30 seconds at this point. But the reason that Davis is talking about yoga is because I brought up the point that he said that none of the kids in Bowman Towers would be interested in yoga. He scoffed at the idea that there would be a yoga program. Whether the mayor, it was an idea they were putting out there, like here's volleyball, yoga, these are things we're suggesting, whatever, was not the issue. I brought up the point that Davis said something racist. I expected him to say, oh, you know what, you got me there. I put my foot in my mouth, and let's take it from here, and let's actually make things better. Let's do yoga with kids at Bowman Towers. But no, instead, he wants to keep bringing up the subject of yoga as if the mayor was going to give them yoga and then didn't. He is such a liar, twisting around the facts. It blows my mind, and I am going to this trouble because I am indirectly a part of this, and it pisses me off. It sickens me, frankly.